Hello and welcome. Today we're going to analyze what made Steve Jobs so successful. Firstly, he had immense capability to visualize things and where they will end up. He knew future lay in graphical user interface. When Apple built its initial computers, same with going touchscreen on iPhone. Now, what separated him from others was his immense capability to think what exactly customers wanted and what will appeal to them. He could see the possibilities when no one else could, took risks before anyone else, and especially its competitors. And lastly, had enormous confidence in his products. Some products were wildly successful like iPhone, but some failed too like Apple Cube Desktop. But that didn't stop him from making new products. What made him going, even when some of his designs didn't do as well commercially? Firstly, his extensive knowledge of product design. Right from the beginning, he had devoted himself to learning about intricacies and technicalities of product design. Then he was always keen to develop new products. He had innate ability to imagine new products which no one even had visualized. Also, his expertise of product development was second to none. He knew how to manage development right from drawing board to launch, a skill even most experienced or successful product designers struggle with. So, what made his products, and by extension Apple, so successful? First, the seamless integration of software and hardware. From its initial competitors, everyone was making softwares, but no one thought of integrating the hardware as closely and seamlessly as possible as Steve Jobs did. It resulted in a user experience which came to define Apple forever. Second was the development of a single ecosystem, bringing all products under a single umbrella, all interconnected with Apple devices, was a revolutionary idea not adopted on such a scale. Sure, every company made plenty of products under their brand, but to ensure that all intercommunicate with each other. Now that's what made Steve Jobs and Apple a force to reckon with. Why could no one else replicate his success? Sure, there are numerous brands, but why are people ready to pay a premium or what some call Apple tax on its products? Firstly, many of those brands are run by what we can call administrative CEOs. Steve was by default a product designer first. He liked to create or oversee product development closely, obsessively passionate about even things like app button shapes or fonts. While on the other hand, many other competitor brands who are well established have CEOs to manage the company and somehow bet or forecast products which could succeed. They're not product designers or creators themselves. Sure, we can say Apple too now is on the same boat, but the spark which was ignited by Steve Jobs is still keeping it ahead of other competitors. For now. So, could we see another Steve Jobs in our lifetime? Well, never say never. If you're thinking about phone or computers, it is increasingly difficult to get into the full hardware manufacturing side of things like Apple, Samsung, or Dell because of immense competition and plenty of other brands as well. But maybe in some other unexplored consumer segment. It is possible. What will it take for the next Steve Jobs to be successful? First of all is the vision that is light years ahead. When Steve Jobs started, technology was just emerging and there were endless possibilities where you want to take it. It also meant that your competitors had a hard time catching up if you offered something unique like in Apple's case. Today, the technology has advanced so much that if something new comes up in consumer market, it would just take maybe a few months or a few couple of years at best to catch up on new invention or discovery by others. Samsung and Apple are itself best examples. A new feature launched by any one of them will probably end up in others' phone by next release cycle. Unless that new technology is prohibitively expensive that it halts the competitors to even think about it. Like Starlink Internet. Not every company can launch a satellite into the orbit to offer satellite internet. Second, that guy has to be extremely passionate about their product. What got Steve Jobs ahead was his sky-high enthusiasm about his products and to make them stand apart from what was available in the market. Take iPods. There were maybe a dozen MP3 players in the market at the time of its launch, but no one had such easy user interface, design, or storage capacity. Point being, whatever product Steve launched in his lifetime, it was unique in every way possible from Challenger. Expensive in most cases, yes, but also ran? No way. Ordinary was hardly a word ever used for his products. Probably a reason you will find his design phone series tagging along with almost every celebrity, politicians, corporate leaders 24 hours a day. Thank you for watching. If you do enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel for more such videos.